tens.
Marvin's gonna do it, isn't he?
It really feels like he is.
And Serhi, I think, confirming the stalling tactic
Sure.
for that 25K pay jump
Listen,
looming.
Ashley, none of us are above opening the King 9 over.
Oh, I'm definitely
Under the
tanking
gun.
if I'm Serhi in this spot.
No, I'm just saying he could open it.
Oh.
Could be giving that some real thought.
What about that 6 deuce off?
That one's a little more optimistic, maybe. A little more damning of stall evidence.
Damning?
Damning. I am tired, all right? I didn't get words right in the first couple hours. You think I'm going to get them right at the end of the night?
We see Mihailo giving up his 7 deuce off. Glenn on the button. All the chips. 8-7 off. Well, we asked earlier, when are these players going to feel the moment and feel the gravity of the fact that they are almost to the final table? I'm not sure if it's because of the hour or if they're starting to feel the pressure of getting so close to the final table, but it's starting to happen. People are starting to stall a little bit, tighten up here and there.
For sure. If they're anything like me, every night that you get deeper in this tournament, you get a little less sleep. And so you're just kind of trying to run on adrenaline all day long.
Wow, interesting flop here. Sorry to cut you off. Interesting.
Please don't cut off my aimless rants in the future, okay?
Noted.
I would appreciate
Noted.
it.
On the A6-5 flop, Glenn with his open ender. Edward with top pair. Backdoor flush draw.
I was kind of rooting for some blanks on the run out because this could become a really interesting hand. As it is, Glenn establishes enough showdown value that I don't think the triple barrel will be coming. I don't know, though. He's found a lot of bluffs today.
Yeah.
Far from impossible. Let's put it that way. Here comes the second barrel. On the slightly smaller side, just around half pot.
Could this potentially be for value from a 6 or a 5 in his mind? Or is that too optimistic?
I don't know if it's too optimistic. I think you think of it more just as pushing equity. You have a pair and an open ender. That's a lot of equity versus anything. You deny some equity to floats that you're beating. You could get called occasionally by worse. You're not doing that poorly versus better unless they have something really strong. But yeah, I mean, let's say your opponent has something like 6-9 suited that they defended the big blind with. They've now picked up a gut shot on the turn. They're probably going to call a small second barrel. So you're certainly getting value out of a number of hands. Or they, for instance, could have 5-7 suited. Difficult to imagine. Yeah, Glenn finds the check. I was going to be quite surprised if he bluffed with this one, considering that second pair.
Yeah, too good to bluff.
Yeah.
If he's bluffing with that, probably too many bluffs at that point.
Online poker is back in America. No purchase necessary. Play online poker for cash prizes with players across the U.S. Sit next to your favorite ambassadors like Phil Ivey, Brad Owen, Rampage, Wolfgang, and the rest of the WPT crew. Play tournaments and ring games to win real prizes and experiences, including free entries into next-level poker events in Las Vegas. Sign up at clubwptgold.com with promo code YouTube.
Mormon has never seen a 7-6 suited he didn't like.
It's a beautiful hand.
It's a tricky spot for Mikhailo. Might give it a little think. Careful, man. You almost folded right into Mormon's hand. Andrew with the ace-queen, he is now down to 17.5 big blinds. Have to imagine this is going in, especially after the last hand, the way it played out.
Yeah.
3.6 million.
Okay. Leaving a little bit back, but mostly all in.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Have to leave a chip back when you're on the bubble. So if your opponent puts you in, you can tank it off. Give yourself the best chance at a page. Oh no. This is brutal for AJ.
Yeah.
I might not have that much, so you still got to count it. In case I don't have that much. Oh, of course. Like by accident or something. Count?
God, what a rough sequence of events for him. Just making a tight decision with the pocket tens and getting max pain there.
Now Edward with 13 million. He still has Chris in the pot. Serhi behind him.
I think given the size of Andrew's jam, Edward just plays
7.1.
his whole range as a call. I'm not sure if he needs to re-raise, but he decides to just
Oh, okay.
pile the chips in.
He does 4-bet. 7.1 million.
The result will be the same here. The idea is that if you have something like pocket tens or pocket jacks, right? Maybe even ace king offsuit, given how deep we are in the tournament. Chris won't be putting the rest of the chips in light, so you can get away from some of the weakest holdings that you would cold call
Time to
this
take a break.
all in against.
How many do you have? That hand 8. Not dealt. I don't know how many I'm going to use. You used to use 5 of them.
AJ just letting the table know, okay, take a couple minutes of a break. I'm going to go through my time banks.
Appreciate the reports.
Every player, once we get down to this point in the tournament, given time bank chips per level. And each one of those chips in his hand is worth 30 seconds of time, I
I'm
believe.
obviously playing. It just saves everyone the minutes if I, you know.
About 3?
This is such a devastating situation for AJ. We saw him navigate so well all day.
Yes.
May we use
In
some
just 2 hands. This is
something-
tournaments, though. The blinds go up. You had a big
So
stack. The
different.
blinds go up. You know, you make one possibly incorrect decision. I could be wrong. Maybe it's better to peel there, but... And the run out just comes in such a way that you lose the maximum or very close to the maximum. And then you find a very easy jam over a loose opener, and somebody behind just wakes up with the cooler.
I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to have to make a loose call. I think you got the best hand, but I'm going to make a loose call at this point. Yeah. I got a whole orbit too.
Just fold and save the 50, bud.
I got a whole orbit. You know.
And you get the ante.
I could pick up
50K in
25K,
chips,
just
worth
selling bucks and make
25K
6
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be a tight fold.
At
was
this
going on.
point, it's very easy to see the 2 outer tables.
I mean,
If anybody has lost someone, or in the process of being all in.
really, it's not though. I mean, like, technically, yeah.
Especially frustrating for
I'm just trying to like save
AJ
time.
because
whatever.
he might think if Edward had something like ace or kings, he just calls to trap, and if he has
Like
something
it-
like jacks or tens, he just calls to get away if Mormon shoves. So now
I mean, it's
he knows he's
definitely
probably
technically
just
right.
up against ace king, which is the worst hand for his ace queen to see outside of ace.
I'm gonna show you now. One more when it gets to 0, or one more already. So it was 4 right now, and then right. So now 5. Now 5. Okay.
Again, 24 remain. I get $121,000. 23rd gets 146 grand.
I am by no means rooting against Edward, but I would love to see AJ stick around. He's been so much fun to watch. Chat, on the other hand, has
Not-
some strong opinions one way or the other about AJ being eliminated.
Call.
And he finally does toss in the remaining 2 green chips.
Look.
You'll
Should
see
have
the bad
lose.
news. Ace queen against Edward's ace king.
Pretty good at hitting queens though usually.
Let's just get a nice little 4-4-5.
Close battle,
5-7
14 versus
run out.
15.
How about that? No pain for anyone.
That would have been sick if you woke up a hand.
I would have been.
Glad you didn't.
Well, we're counting it as pre-flop is the best.
The nuts right now.
Deuces are 13th best hand, technically. Right.
13 pairs.
Technically the
That's number 14, number
though,
15.
so,
Well, it's in order of the nuts right now. It
yeah,
is.
you know.
Oh, hello.
Oh my goodness. Queen on the flop.
Seems reasonable.
Club to go, 2 clubs to go with it too.
Wow.
He could just turn.
I think it's gonna come 3 deuce.
Everybody at the table not happy about this flop. That'll do it for AJ.
8.
Sucking out on the ace king in a crucial moment in the tournament.
Ace king not doing well versus ace queen today.
No.
Not even a little bit.
Wow. That's huge.
Patent this. Somebody
Wasted a bunch of
upstairs
time
is
making
listening.
no
They're
reason.
going to implement
Somebody-
it. We're going to make no money on the idea.
You timed it right.
You think it would have been different if I
I'm okay with
amount
that.
of time as I use a flop is different, right?
Yeah, it's reshuffling.
Yeah. Like a butterfly effect.
Fold.
Kylo in a bit of a spot here with the ace-4 offsuit. Oh, finally lets it go. Edward has to regroup a bit here.
Poor Edward.
Yeah,
I'm the
that's a
type of
tough one.
person, like, especially when I'm sitting right next to the person I just doubled up who sucked out on me. I have this, like, habit of just staring at their stack and imagining it on top of my stack.
If he had won
in
that
pain.
pot, he would have between 17 and 18 million, I believe. That's drawing quite close to a average final table stack.
Worth so much money.
Yeah. All
Very
of these pots
painful.
worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands in equity.
Some classic small blind versus big blind hands in the mix here. Serhi flopping the best of it.
Being with that important 3 card to a straight flush type of hand. He also has absolutely no showdown value. This makes for a nice bet here.
Yeah. Serhi doing well to check it over to him. Make that extra 200K minimum.
Serhi might be loving the fact that he gets to
Stall.
spend the maximum amount of time on every street as he check calls his opponent down. With the best hand, too. Doesn't hurt. Ooh, Biyun. 10 of hearts on the turn. Interesting set of decisions in front of him. He has 5 high, and he's picked up equity, so betting makes a lot of sense. However, it is a little scary to bet against a stack size like Serhi's, because if Serhi were to find a shove, it's a small disaster to have to bet fold away a flush draw. That said, when Serhi just check calls the flop, probably not sitting on a lot of hands that will be shoving the turn. Almost no hands, so Biyun can feel like he can bet with some amount of impunity. The 10 is also a nice card for Biyun to bet because it represents another overcard to the 8 and 3. Which Serhi is also check calling. Most likely. Now, this size, a little polarizing. Maybe Biyun doesn't have too many 10s that he bets this size. Oh, Jack of hearts on the river. Maybe it's Biyun's world and we're all just living in it. Have to imagine Brian is picking the all-in size here almost exclusively. And if and when he does, this is just an awful spot for Serhi. He has top pair but no relevant blockers. Would probably highly prefer heroing it off with something like Ace 10, Ace of Hearts,
5 million.
Queen Jack, Queen of Hearts, those sort of holdings. 10, 9, 9 of Hearts. Some of those hands, of course, a bit difficult to arrive at the river with. This is one of those runouts where you just kind of wonder where everything went wrong. This is such a difficult spot. Serhi probably running through
That's just like a thing in the sense.
possibilities that his opponent has.
Obviously, it's
How many flushes take this exact line? Does he ever have a straight here, or does he check back the flop quite often with queen 9? What are his bluffs? Does he have something like 7-6 with a heart? Queen 7 with a heart, those sort of things.
what's the going rate? It was 100 earlier. They got probably like 300 now. Can I like decide when I'm in the hand if I want to buy one for 300? Like,
Depends how big the pot is.
yeah, it might be 1,000. The going rate might be 1,000.
These are the spots we all just hate so much.
Thank you. So you just checked it. Tell me.
Nice
There he
job.
goes.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well done, Sari.
Nice pot.
Huge pot for Yoon. You're just risking so much for not much of a reward as compared to earlier. 25K increase for the next person, and then after that, every 4 people or so until the final table, they get a 30K plus increase in the payout. So it'll come very quickly once this sort of mini bubble bursts. Serhi looking down at a real hand now. Ace queen off, suit from the cutoff. 3.6 million in the stack. Players are getting used to his pre-flop tanking, but this time he actually is going to get involved with a limp. Are you surprised?
A little bit. This is the first limp
All day,
outside
besides
of
in
the
the
small
blinds?
blind, yeah, that we've seen. It's certainly a nice spot for it. On a pay jump bubble, sort of a stack size that might benefit from limping, allowing you to play the maximum number of hands, theoretically. Nikita deciding if it's worthwhile to complete. He decides no. You have some fairly strong hands,
Right.
considering.
For a limped pot. I think he is just adjusting to his stack size and the moment in the tournament.
Some really beautiful PLO hands amongst
Wow,
these three
what
players.
a flop. Biyun flopping a gutter to a straight flush. Chris with top pair, jack kicker. Serhi still with the ace high. Shriveled up on this flop, especially 3 ways. Little does he know that their hands are so strong
Yeah,
in this limped pot, but still.
probably one of the worst flops for him to see with ace queen, no diamonds. He checks it over. I wonder how Biyun approaches this, because if you start betting, obviously you can bet your hand. You have a very strong hand with a lot of equity, but if you start betting, your opponent's calling ranges start to become a king or better quite quickly. And you'd actually like to keep your opponents kind of wide so that your queen and 10 as outs are good more often. Clearing out equity, of course, great as well.
And yeah, this is no fun if you're Serhi.
Sari is back to tank folding, I think. Kind of all you can do.
I mean, you're in a 3-way pot and you look to your left and it's Brian Yoon. You look to your right, it's Chris frickin' Mormon. It's like, I'm gonna get out of the way
You
with
look
my
across
ace
the table
high.
and it's Makita Badzikowski.
Yeah, I mean, it's just,
It's rough stuff, man.
yeah.
Even picking up some showdown value. Interesting decision point against the checked back big blind. Because Chris can have a number of hands like King 4 that betting would achieve folds against. That said, you have middle pair. You're pretty happy to get the showdown. Just beat all the 9s and 8s that might have called you.
And now Mormon with the decision on the 8 of spades river.
Yeah, Mormon has a king whose kicker plays. And that's very valuable on this run out.
Yeah, if you tuned in during the middle of this hand, this was a limped pot originally.
Not that Biyun's playing many kings whose kicker doesn't play. But he might slide in there.
Yeah, he might
The
he
suited
might
king
peel
every
with
now
it.
and then.
Yeah, suited king to a limp from the cutoff. He's on the button. He might just toss in the 2 chips.
It's possible. How likely, I'm not sure, but it's Biyun we're talking about.
Yeah. Nice fold, Brian.
Yeah, great fold. Just identifying that once Mormon's check called the flop, it's very difficult for him to have less than a 9, and a hand as strong as a 9 might just go.
Online poker is back in America. No purchase necessary. Play online poker for cash prizes with players across the U.S. Sit next to your favorite ambassadors like Phil Ivey, Brad Owen, Rampage, Wolfgang, and the rest of the WPT crew. Play tournaments and ring games to win real prizes and experiences, including free entries into next-level poker events in Las Vegas. Sign up at clubwptgold.com with promo code YouTube.
And it was on a bubble.
I folded king queen off. All my friends said I'm stupid. But you had an ace,
King
right?
queen off, you nit.
I'm a net.
Yeah.
I actually.
But there is the
have my reasons
possibility
for it.
that I was
I
lying.
used a time bank for like a 12 big blind.
Sometimes
blind
I do
versus
lie.
blind shove with ace 5 off, just because I thought the dude was never shoving with anything.
I thought he never jams king jack there on the page. Maybe he does king jack.
Yes, I do.
That's about it.
But that's it. I don't show king 10.
No.
This table is feeling the end of the day. They're starting to get excited about it.
You always have an ace in a small line, huh?
Most of the time.
There's this type of
You mean now?
camaraderie in the
Yeah,
air
generally speaking.
that you
Oh,
often
it's
feel
when
at
you're
bag time.
I mean,
When everyone's
King eight
bagging
suited
up
should
and
be
you can
really
finally
good
take that
this
sigh of relief. But
Only most of the time.
for some, this might be an early celebration.
Well done.
I think generally the
done.
people talking are the bigger stacks.
Wu Bao Chen here with the ace queen off.
We are on a direct one.
He loves tossing in the time bank chip before he actually needs it. It's really cute.
He does.
If he has a decision, he immediately is like, yes, give me 30 more seconds. He's got 2.9 million at big blind 250K with ace queen off from the hijack. This is one of those situations we probably expect him to think for a little bit and put most of his chips. There he goes. He's got 1 chip behind. He's not technically all in.
Yeah, when you're on a short stack, these offsuited hands are often the best candidates for a shove rather than a small raise, as they just play a little bit worse post-flop. And they have slightly lower equity, so you want the higher equity hand to induce with.
I said no way. Because it's been so long for everyone to bust in 24. We're like 24. I'd be close now. Depends how quickly we get to 19.
Ooh, Joshua looks like he's about to flick some chips in here.
So if we get to 19, like in the next.
This would be a dream for Huabao.
Like we have a decent chance then. For sure. The next jump happens at 15, so. for nothing at 15. Brilliant.
Yeah. So
Hey, that's good.
so
Yeah,
we get to
yeah, yeah, so now
19.
people just
That's the
drop out.
last
Yeah,
jump
yeah,
of the
yeah,
day,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So people just play normally.
Yeah, so play normally.
Oh no, here it is. He's called it off. Amazing situation for Huabao.
Yes, he's getting it in way ahead with the ace queen against Joshua's ace 8 offsuit.
Made the best player win. Oh, bullshit. It's
I took Italian in high school.
30K, the payout difference between going home in 20th and going home in 19th.
Honestly, it is his pay jump. He's
So,
gonna be lot
a little
bigger.
extra juice in this pot. The flop comes out 10-4-3. Very safe for Huabao.
Oh
8
no.
on the turn.
Ace 8 offsuit doing
Yes.
serious work today.
Second time we've had the 8 hit on the turn. He needs a queen to stay alive.
Wow, so sick.
So painful.
I
Worked
just
hard all
realized
day.
That it was pay jump. and
All
I
of
should
those
never called
bluffs.
there after I called
All
it.
of those unorthodox lines that he's taken at our feature table.
Starting to run
I'm
together
gonna
for me.
be honest with you, it's all a blur. It's
Yeah.
all a blur. But you know what? What matters is where he's at right now, and that's sitting on 20-something million chips with 17 left in the main event.
What a feeling.
Jesse, if you're still there and listening, thank you for saying nice things about me.
Aw.
I got you, bro. I really did have a
I think
fantastic
he's on
time.
commentary.
Day one.
Jesse Silvers.
like 6. A little bit less.
I heard them say, "Let's go, Joshua," because they called out the 12K in live earnings.
I did it. Let's go. Oh, I actually bust Jesse on day one. He had like 6 bigs, I had 9s, and I flopped quads against him. Like, he was all in with ace queen or something. But he was a fun guy to be around.
The reason why he's commentating.
Hey, check.
He's a really fun guy at the table. He's like a very chatty.
I've met a lot of people in this tournament. That's the fun part, I think.
Yeah, yeah. A legend as well. He was showing a good time in the meetup game as well before day 2.
Yeah, I played with Dylan Wind. I knocked out Cliff Josephine.
You did. I got super. Well, I lost a third of my stuff. No, I.
What a turn card, huh?
Against
2 pair for Ryan, straight for Andrea.
I had aces, and I hit a 10.
Ryan's certainly going to feel
Is it on my
obligated to
left?
put a
Is it-
number
is
of
it on
chips
my
in the
left
spot now.
hand? Hold on. That's why we're here. Way better to just bad beef. Bad beef. Bros. The bosses.
750.
Pot size bet. That is meaty.
That is meaty. If you're Ryan, you're thinking, what is this? He's just not concerned about me having a 6 at all. Ryan already looks really skeptical whether or not this is ever a bluff.
He does put the chips in.
So difficult to find a fold when you have 2 pair to 1 bet. That's a really nice card if you're Andrea, and a really easy card to talk yourself into paying your opponent off if you're Ryan. Feels like Andrea's just decided, I'm going to go for a lot of it if my opponent has a 6.
2.3.
Again, pot size bet on the river.
If you're Ryan, these huge bets on the fairly coordinated one card straight boards just feel... It just doesn't feel like a bluff very often. And
I fold. Maybe I should just fold.
Very
the
nice
turn.
fold. He
he
gets
just
away.
said, maybe I should just fold the turn. That's so sick.
Wow.
Ryan has some really strong instincts.